Hello Pisces, and welcome to Embrace the Moon Tarot and your new moon reading for October 2017. I had a family medical issue that cropped up in the beginning of the month, so I did not have time to do the usual readings, but I wanted to make sure I still had something up for October, and I decided to focus on the new moon. The new moon is in Libra, which is part of it is about creating balance in your life. So I'm focusing on the energies that will be available to you during the new moon to help create balance. What it is that you need to release so that you can create space for this energy to come into your life if you so choose. And what it is that you can focus on to help utilize, or the strength that you can have to help utilize this energy and to release what you need to release. Again, if you so choose. So let me go ahead and finish shuffling and see what I have. That was fast. Pleasure and pain is your vibrations. Let me see what we have for release and focus. Release. Ooh, focus. Okay, so pleasure and pain. So there's some things that are going to unfold up to the new moon. So the pleasure and pain aspect isn't actually going to happen on the new moon, but you're going to be very aware of all the events that led up to the new moon that's going to have you tapping into this feeling of pleasure and pain. So it feels like it's kind of contradictory in the statement, pleasure and pain. But let me explain what this is going to be for you. So there's some things that are going to unfold in your life that you're going to recognize how they provide both a feeling or sensation of happiness, but how they also can sometimes bring disappointment and pain. And you're going to be kind of evaluating them and balancing them against each other. You're going to focus on them and trying to realize how much weight the pain may be in comparison to the happiness that it brings. And I'm trying to think of an analogy, and nothing's really coming to mind right away, but this feels a bit like a relationship for the bulk of you. So essentially, to break it down, there's going to be some moments that transpires leading up to the new moon, and the energy of the new moon is going to have some things unfold that is going to have you feeling less than happy. And so you're going to have moments where you're going to start to contemplate, is this sadness or pain worth the happiness that you gain when you're in this relationship? And I can't answer that for you. You have to answer that for yourself, because all of you are different. Your situation's different. The relationship is different. Your answer to that question is going to be different. But the new moon energy is going to have you looking at it. And if you had a scale, two different scales in front of you, you would be looking at the pain aspect and looking at the pleasure and happiness aspect of this relationship to see how they weigh against each other, to see if it is worth it. This is just something that you're going to be contemplating, and you will find the answer on your own. The means for finding the answer, the means for looking at the scales is going to be you releasing skeleton strength. So there is a foundation that you perceive exists, that you perceive gives you strength, and you need to recognize that that's not what gives you strength. For some of you, is recognizing where your actual strength lies. And I feel that this statement comes to let you know your strength, your personal strength is not in the relationship. It's within yourself. So your focus on strength, your concept of personal strength needs to be released so you can make room for realizing what it is that makes you strong, what it is that actually gives you the strength to stand, and the strength is to the term stand on your own 2 feet comes to mind, and that just keeps popping in my head, and I keep saying no, but that keeps popping in my head. So you need to release what it is that you think gives you strength, because you are not recognizing the true strength in your backbone, the true strength that allows you to stand on your own 2 feet. Once you release that, you'll be able to recognize that scale much better. You'll be able to see that scale for what it is, the value of what you're putting on that scale for its true worth. Your focus or your strength is to take a pause. The underworld, where all things pause and begin again. So this is kind of on the concept of hibernation. Not so much fall asleep. We have a misconception of a hibernation, actually. We just think that animals that hibernate go to sleep and they don't wake again. But that's not true. They actually do occasionally still wake up and forage. It's just their activity as a whole is decreased significantly during the darker months of the year. And this is what you're being called to focus on. You're being asked to not put as much energy into creating anything new, into doing anything new. You're being asked to just do what you need to do with what you have on hand right now. As you move through the new moon and move towards the full moon, so that you can get into a better balance within your own head regarding happiness and pain, and what you're willing to accept, how much of the sad moments you're willing to accept and contrast to the happy moments, but also recognizing what it is that truly makes you strong, because you don't know yet. There's an understanding that you have yet to discover. That's probably the better way to put it. There's an understanding that you have yet to discover about your own personal strengths. So until then, you're supposed to just do what it is that is required of you on a day-to-day basis to keep you sustained, to keep your life as you know it going, to feed you and nurture yourself. But nothing new, nothing that requires new activity or new fuel in comparison to your regular day-to-day activities. So just focus on what it is that sustains you for right now, during this time period, and watch as understanding regarding yourself unfolds. But that's where you're going to find balance right now. And this is temporary. This is a temporary state of being. And you're to take solace in that, knowing that it's temporary. But this is important for you to just do what it takes for you to go through every day to sustain yourself from day to day. And that's it. No more. Don't do anything more than is required of you from day to day. And allow the discovery of what actually provides you strength to unfold in front of you. And your understanding of that scales will be so much clearer. All right. That is all I have for you, Pisces, for this month. I hope you have a beautiful new moon experience, and the rest of October is wonderful. I hope to see you in November. And until then, happy October.